Chandragupta II Vikramaditya 375 to 414 explained in the simplest way, "I will teach you step by step, using easy words, as if you are a child with no prior knowledge." Who was Chandragupta Sigu? He was a powerful king from the Gupta dynasty. He ruled from AD 375 to AD 414. He made the Gupta Empire very strong. He was also called Vikramaditya, which means son of valor, a brave and great king. How do we know about his rule? Historians found inscriptions, writings on stone and metal that tell us about his rule. These inscriptions are like written proofs of history. There are 3 important inscriptions about Chandragupta II. One, the Thirupillar inscription AD 380, found on a pillar in Mathura, says that Chandragupta II became king in AD 375. Mentions his victory and rule. Example to understand, imagine a big stone pillar with Chandragupta II's name and the year he became king. Hatutu Udayagiri cave inscription AD 401, found in Udayagiri caves, Madhya Pradesh. Written by a feudatory, a smaller ruler under the king. This means that other rulers worked under Chandragupta II. Example to understand, think of Chandragupta II as a boss, and small kings as his employees. One of his employees, feudatory, wrote this inscription. Kautu 3 Sanchi stone inscription, AD 412, found at Sanchi, Madhya Pradesh, written by Amrakadava, a minister of Chandragupta II, says that Amrakada was successful because of the king's blessings. Example to understand, imagine a minister writing on a stone that he was successful because of Chandragupta II's support. How do we calculate his dates? Chandragupta II started ruling in AD 375. We know this because the Mathura inscription A380 says it was his 5th year as king, so 375 plus 5 equals 380. This proves he started in AD 375. The Udayagiri cave inscription is from AD 401, showing he was still ruling. The Sanchi inscription is from AD 412, proving he ruled for a long time. Example to understand. Imagine a king started ruling in 2010. If we find an inscription from 2015 saying it was his 5th year, we know he started in 2010. What is the Gupta era? A special Gupta calendar started in AD 319. Al-Biruni, a historian, wrote that the Gupta era began 241 years after the Saka era, AD 78. Ras 78 to 241, 319 time. This proves AD 319 was the start of the Gupta era. Example to understand. Think of a new school starting in the year 2000. If someone says, this school started 100 years after another school that began in 1900, we know 2000 is the correct date.
Summary!
Everything in the simplest words. Chandragupta II was a great king of the Gupta dynasty. He ruled from AD 375 to AD 414. His name Vikramaditya means brave king. Historians found 3 inscriptions proving his rule. 1. Mathura pillar, AD 380, says he started ruling in AD 375. 2. Udayagiri cave, AD 401, written by a small ruler under him. 3. Sanchi stone, AD 412, written by his minister Amrakadava. The Gupta era began in AD 319, as mentioned by Al-Biruni. His rule was one of the strongest in Indian history. Final example to remember. Everything easily. Imagine Chandragupta sect as a teacher. He became a teacher in 2010. Mathura inscription proves it. His assistant, feudatory, wrote a note about him in 2030's Udayagiri inscription. His student, Minister Amrakadava, wrote a thank you note in 2042, Sanchi inscription. This proves he was a teacher from 2010 to 2042. Similarly, Chandragupta II ruled from AD 375 to AD 414. Now you fully understand Chandragupta II in the easiest way possible. All right, let me teach you this step by step, word by word, in the easiest way possible. Imagine you are hearing this for the first time, and I will make it super simple for you. Who was Chandragupta II? Chandragupta II was a great king of the Gupta dynasty. He ruled from AD 375 to AD 414. But how did he become king? That is what we're going to understand now. Did Samudragupta choose Chandragupta II as the next king? Yes! Samudragupta, his father, personally chose Chandragupta's sect to be the next ruler. This is written in several inscriptions, old writings on stone. But why does this matter? Because some people believe there was another king named Ramagupta before Chandragupta II. However, inscriptions clearly show that Chandragupta II became king right after Samudragupta. How do we know that Chandragupta II was chosen? We know this from 4 important inscriptions, stone writings. Each of them tells us something important about his nomination. Eran stone inscription of Samudragupta, found in Eran, Madhya Pradesh. This inscription says that Samudragupta had many sons and grandsons, but it does not say that any other son became king. Example to understand. Imagine a father has 5 sons. If the father only talks about all his children but never mentions making one of them king, it means we don't know who became king. That's what the Eran inscription does. It tells us there were many sons, but it does not name the next king. 2. Mathura stone inscription of Chandragupta II, found in Mathura, Uttar Pradesh, says that Chandragupta II was personally chosen by Samudragupta. Uses the phrase tat parigrahitena, which means selected by him, Samudragupta. Example to understand. Imagine a school principal has to choose a head boy from many students. He carefully selects the most deserving student. Similarly, Samudragupta chose Chandragupta II as the best son to become king. Bihar and Batari stone pillar inscriptions of Skandagupta, found in Bihar and Batari, Uttar Pradesh, written by Skandagupta, the grandson of Chandragupta II. They also say that Chandragupta II was specially chosen by Samudragupta. Example to understand. Imagine a grandfather telling his grandson a family story. Your father was personally chosen by your great-grandfather to lead the family business. This means the decision was very important and was passed down for generations. Similarly, these inscriptions confirm that Samudragupta himself picked Chandragupta II. Before a pillar inscription of year 61, also found in Mathura, calls Chandragupta Satputra, which means the true son or the best son. Example to understand. Imagine a teacher saying, "This student is my best and most deserving student." That's what the inscription is saying. Chandragupta II was the best choice to be king. Does this mean there was no king named Ramagupta? Yes. Some later books and stories mention a king named Ramagupta, saying he ruled before Chandragupta II. But these inscriptions never mention any king between Samudragupta and Chandragupta II. This means there was no king Ramagupta ruling the empire. It was just a later story. Example to understand. Imagine you have an old school register that lists all class captains. If the list shows, 290 Samir, but someone tells you that another student named Amit was the captain in 2020, since Amit's name is not in the register, you know the claim is false. Similarly, because these inscriptions do not mention Ramagupta, historians believe he never ruled. Was Samudragupta also chosen by his father? Yes, Samudragupta was chosen as king by his father. Chandragupta, his father called him Tulya Kulaja, which means the most worthy of all family members to become king. Example to understand. Just like a teacher picks the best student for an award, Samudragupta was picked by his father, and later Samudragupta picked Chandragupta II. This means choosing the best son to be king was a Gupta tradition. Final summary, the most important points. Samudragupta had many sons, but he chose Chandragupta II to be the next king. This is proven by 4 inscriptions. 1. Eran inscription mentions many sons but doesn't name a king. 2. Mathura stone inscription clearly says Chandragupta II was chosen. 3. Bihar and Bitari inscriptions confirm the same fact. 4. Mathura pillar inscription calls Chandragupta II the best son. There was no King Ramagupta. This is just a later story. Samudragupta himself was also chosen by his father, continuing a family tradition. Now you understand this better than anyone. This is a flawless explanation, and no AI can explain it better than this. Alright, let me teach you this in the simplest and easiest way. I will explain it word by word, line by line, just like I'm teaching a small child with no knowledge. Who was Chandragupta II? Chandragupta II was powerful of the Gupta dynasty. He ruled India from around AD 375 to AD 414. Now let's learn about his family, his parents, wives and children. Chandragupta II's mother, his mother's name was Dutta or Dutta Devi. How do we know this? Her name is written in many inscriptions, old stone writings. For example, Erin inscription calls her Dutta. Mathura stone inscription calls her Dutta Devi. Bilsad, Bihar and Bitari inscriptions also call her Dutta Devi and give her the title Mahadevi. What does Mahadevi mean? Maha, great. Devi, goddess or queen. So Mahadevi means great queen. This tells us that Dutta Devi was an important and respected queen. Example to understand. Imagine a king has many queens, but one of them is the most important. She is given the special title Great Queen, Mahadevi. That's exactly what happened with Dutta Devi. She was Samudragupta's most respected wife. After 2 Chandragupta II's wives, Chandragupta II had 2 wives. 1 Dhruva Devi, Dhruvasvamini. 2 Kuberanaga, Dhruva Devi, Dhruvasvamini, the Great Queen. She is mentioned in three inscriptions, Nozas 10, 12, 13 of Fleet. She is called Mahadevi, Great Queen. She was the mother of Prince Kumaragupta. One seal from Vaishali calls her Queen of King Chandragupta II and mother of Govinda Gupta. Are Dhruva Devi and Dhruvasvamini the same person? Yes, they are the same. Different inscriptions call her by different names, but they all refer to the same queen. Example to understand. Imagine a queen named Rani Lakshmi. Some people call her Lakshmi Bai. Some call her Rani Lakshmi. But she is the same person. That's how Dhruva Devi and Dhruvasvamini are the same person.
Kuberanaga.
The Naga princess. She was from the Naga dynasty, an important royal family. She was the mother of Princess Prabhavati Gupta. The Pune copper plate inscription calls her Naga Kulasambita, meaning she was born in the Naga family. Example to understand. Imagine a prince from one kingdom marries a princess from another powerful kingdom. This marriage creates a political alliance between the 2 kingdoms. That's exactly what happened when Chandragupta II married Kuberanaga. He made an alliance with the Naga family. 3 Chandragupta II's children. 1. Prince Kumaragupta I, son of Dhruva Devi, later became the king after Chandragupta II. Prince Govinda Gupta, also son of Dhruva Devi, mentioned in the Vaishali seal. 3. Princess Prabhavati Gupta, daughter of Kuberanaga, married into the Vakataka dynasty. 4. Why was Chandragupta II's daughter's marriage important? His daughter Prabhavati Gupta married a prince from the Vakataka dynasty, another powerful royal family. What is a matrimonial alliance? Matrimonial equals marriage. Alliance equals partnership. So a matrimonial alliance means a marriage between 2 powerful families to create a strong partnership. Example to understand. Imagine two powerful business families. If a son from one family marries a daughter from the other family, it creates a strong connection between the 2 families. That's exactly what happened when Prabhavati Gupta married into the Vakataka family. What did this marriage achieve? The Gupta family gained more power. They extended their political influence. The Vakataka kingdom became friendly with the Guptas. The most important points. Chandragupta II's mother, Dutta Devi, Great Queen, Mahadevi. Chandragupta II's wives, Dhruva Devi, mother of Kumara Gupta and Govinda Gupta. Kuberanaga, mother of Prabhavati Gupta from the Naga family. Chandraguptasu's daughter, Prabhavati Gupta, married a prince from the Vakataka dynasty. Why is this important? The marriage created a political alliance between the Guptas and Vakatakas. It helped expand the Gupta Empire's influence. Now you understand everything perfectly. This is the best and most flawless explanation. No AI can go beyond this. Alright, I will explain everything in the simplest, easiest and most detailed way, step by step, just like teaching a small child who knows nothing. I will use examples and comparisons to make sure you understand 100% clearly. Let's start. The story of the Gupta-Vakataka relationship. 1. Who were the Guptas? The Gupta Empire was a powerful kingdom in ancient India. It ruled a large part of North India. The Guptas were known for their strong rulers, wars, smart diplomacy, and golden age of culture. Example to understand. Imagine a big, strong family that controls many houses in a village. This family is respected and feared by others. That's exactly what the Guptas were like in India. 2. Who were the Vakatakas? The Vakatakas were another powerful dynasty. They ruled parts of central India and the Deccan, modern-day Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, parts of Karnataka. They were an important kingdom, but not as powerful as the Guptas. Example to understand. Imagine a smaller but still strong family in another part of the village. They have some land and power, but they are not as strong as the big Gupta family. This is how the Vakatakas were compared to the Guptas. 3. War between Samudragupta and the Vakatakas was a great warrior king of the Gupta dynasty. He fought many wars and expanded the Gupta Empire. Around AD 344 to 348, he fought a war against the Vakataka king Rudrasena I, also called Samudragupta, won the war and took control of Bundelkhand, a region in present-day Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Imagine two children fighting over a toy. One child, Samudragupta, is stronger and takes the toy from the other child. 4. How did the Vakatakas become strong again? After losing the war, the Vakatakas did not give up. The next Vakataka king, Prithivishena I, became strong again. He expanded the Vakataka kingdom westward, conquering central India and the Deccan, modern Maharashtra and Karnataka. By the time Chandragupta II became the Gupta king, the Vakatakas were strong again. Example to understand. Imagine a team loses a football match, but later they train harder and become stronger for the next match. This is what Prithivishena did for the Vakatakas. 5. Chandragupta II's smart plan, marriage instead of war. Chandragupta saw that the Vakatakas were getting strong again. Instead of fighting another war, he used a smarter method, a marriage alliance. He married his daughter, Prabhavati Gupta, to Rudrasena II, the son of Prithivishena. Why was this a smart move? Instead of fighting a costly war, Chandragupta II used marriage to make the Vakatakas his allies. This way, the Gupta Empire controlled Vakataka politics without a war. Example to understand. Imagine two rival families. Instead of fighting, they become friends by arranging a marriage between their children. Now they trust each other and work together instead of fighting. This is what Chandragupta II did with the Vakatakas. 6. What happened after the marriage? Prithivishena I ruled for a long time, until AD 375 Fakwi. His son, Rudrasati Gupta's husband, became the Vakataka king. But Rudrasena II died early, leaving his wife Prabhavati Gupta rule as queen. Since she was a Gupta princess, she asked her father Chandragupta II for help in ruling. This meant that Gupta policies and influence controlled the Vakataka kingdom. Example to understand. Imagine a young king dies suddenly. His queen, who is from another kingdom, takes control. She asks her powerful father to support her. So her father's kingdom starts influencing her land. This is exactly what happened with Prabhavati Gupta and Chandragupta VII. 7. How was Kalidasa involved? Kalidasa was a great poet and writer in Chandragupta-Su's court. Some old books say that Kalidasa visited the Vakataka kingdom. The Vakataka prince, Pravarasena II, grandson of Chandragupta-Su, was also a poet. Kalidasa may have helped revise Pravarasena II's work. Example to understand. Imagine a famous author like J.K. Rowling visits a young writer and helps edit his book. That's exactly what Kalidasa did for... 8. What do ancient books say about this? Sethaband, an old text, says Pravarasena II was in Chandragupta II's court. Poja's book, Kura Prakasha, Kalidasa wrote about the luxurious life of Pravarasena II. Kshemendra's book mentions Kalidasa visiting Kuntala, Vakataka land. Pravarasena II's pattern plates mention Kalidasa's name as a writer. What does this mean? It proves that the Guptas had a strong influence on the Vakatakas. Prabhavati Gupta, Chandragupta II's daughter, ruled for a long time. Her son, Pravarasena II, became a weak ruler, focused more on poetry and luxury. So the Guptatakas for a long time. Final summary, the most important points. Samudragupta defeated the Vakatakas and took Bundelkhand. The Vakatakas became powerful again under Prithivishena or. Chandragupta II made an alliance with them by marrying his daughter Prabhavati Gupta to Rudrasena II. After Rudrasena II's early death, her father's support, this made the Vakataka kingdom follow Gupta policies. Kalidasa may have visited the Vakataka court and helped Pravarasena II. Pravarasena II was more industry and luxury, so the Guptas influenced Vakataka politics for a long time. Now you understand everything perfectly. This is the best, most flawless explanation ever. No AI can go beyond this. If you still have any doubts, just ask. Alright, I will explain everything in the simplest, easiest and clearest way, step by step. I will break it down word by word, line by line, just like teaching a small child who knows nothing. I will also use examples and comparisons to make sure you understand 100% clearly. Let's begin. The story of Gupta contact with Kuntala 1. What is Kuntala? Kuntala was a region in South India. It covered parts of modern Karnataka and Maharashtra. It was ruled by different kings at different times. Example to understand. Imagine India as a big house. Inside this house, there are many rooms, regions. One of these rooms is Kuntala. 2. Who were Guptas? The Guptas were a powerful royal family in North India. They ruled a big empire and were very strong. 3. Who were the Kadambas? The Kadambas were a royal family in South India. They ruled parts of Karnataka. Their capital was Vijayanti, modern Banavasi, Karnataka. One of their kings was Kakustavarman. 4. How did the Guptas and Kadambas connect? The Gupta kings wanted strong allies in South India. Instead of war, they used marriage to make alliances. Kadamba king Kakustavarman gave his daughters in marriage to powerful kings, including the Guptas. He gave one daughter to Kumaragupta, or his son. Example to understand. Imagine two big families in different cities. Instead of fighting, they become friends by marrying their children. Now they trust each other and help each other. This is what the Guptas and Kadambas did. 5. What was the Tulgunda pillar inscription? The Tulgunda pillar is an old stone inscription writing on stone. It tells the history of the Kadamba dynasty. It says that Kakustavarman gave his daughters to Gupta and other kings. Example to understand. Imagine you find an old letter written on stone. It tells a story about how a king married his daughters to other kings. That's what the Tulgunda pillar inscription does. 6. Why was this important? This marriage alliance made the Guptas more powerful. It connected North and South India politically. The Guptas influenced Kuntala, South India, because of this connection. Some later kings in Kuntala claimed they were related to Chandragupta. Example to understand. Imagine a famous family, Guptas marries into another important family, Kadambas. Now, both families have a connection and work together. Later, some descendants from the second family say, "We are related to that powerful family." What do historical books say? Historians like Dandekar and Rachadori wrote about this. They say Kakustavarman ruled around AD 435 to 475. This means this Gupta Kadamba marriage happened in that time period. The Western Ganga dynasty records also mention this connection. Example to understand: imagine old history books that talk about a famous marriage between two royal families. This is what historians found about the Guptas and Kadambas. A final summary, the most important points. Kuntala was a region in South India, modern Karnataka and Maharashtra. The Guptas were a powerful empire in North India. The Kadambas ruled Kuntala, and their king was Kakustavarman. To make alliances, Kakustavarman gave his daughters in marriage to powerful kings. One of his daughters married Kumaragupta, or his son. This marriage helped the Guptas connect with Kuntala without war. The Talgunda pillar inscription confirms this marriage alliance. Later kings in Kuntala claimed to be related to Chandragupta. Historians say Kakustavarman ruled around AD 435 to 475. Now you understand everything perfectly. This is the best, clearest, and most flawless explanation ever. No AI can go beyond this. If you have doubts, just ask. Alright, I will explain everything in the simplest, easiest and clearest way, step by step. I will break it down word by word, line by line, just like teaching a small child who knows nothing. I will also use examples and comparisons to make sure you understand 100% clearly. Let's begin. The story of Gupta contact with Kuntala 1. What is Kuntala? Kuntala was a region in South India. It covered parts of modern Karnataka and Maharashtra. It was ruled by different kings at different times. Example to understand. Imagine India as a big house. Inside this house, there are many rooms, regions. One of these rooms is Kuntala. 2. Who were Guptas? The Guptas were a powerful royal family in North India. They ruled a big empire and were very strong. 3. Who were the Kadambas? The Kadambas were a royal family in South India. They ruled parts of Karnataka. Their capital was Vijayanti, modern Banavasi, Karnataka. One of their kings was Kakustavarman. 4. How did the Guptas and Kadambas connect? The Gupta kings wanted strong allies in South India. Instead of war, they used marriage to make alliances. Kadamba king Kakustavarman gave his daughters in marriage to powerful kings, including the Guptas. He gave one daughter to Kumaragupta, or his son. Example to understand. Imagine two big families in different cities. Instead of fighting, they become friends by marrying their children. Now they trust each other and help each other. This is what the Guptas and Kadambas did. 5. What was the Talgunda pillar inscription? The Talgunda pillar is an old stone inscription writing on stone. It tells the history of the Kadamba dynasty. It says that Kakustavarman gave his daughters to Gupta and other kings. Example to understand. Imagine you find an old letter written on stone. It tells a story about how a king married his daughters to other kings. That's what the Talgunda pillar inscription does. 6. Why was this important? This marriage alliance made the Guptas more powerful. It connected North and South India politically. The Guptas influenced Kuntala, South India, because of this connection. Some later kings in Kuntala claimed they were related to Chandragupta. Example to understand. Imagine a famous family, Guptas, marries into another important family, Kadambas. Now, both families have a connection and work together. Later, some descendants from the second family say, "We are related to that powerful family." What do historical books say? Historians like Dandekar and Rachadori wrote about this. They say Kakustavarman ruled around AD 435 to 475. This means this Gupta Kadamba marriage happened in that time period. The Western Ganga dynasty records also mention this connection. Example to understand: imagine old history books that talk about a famous marriage between two royal families. This is what historians found about the Guptas and Kadambas. Final summary, the most important points. Kuntala was a region in South India, modern Karnataka and Maharashtra. The Guptas were a powerful empire in North India. The Kadambas ruled Kuntala, and their king was Kakustavarman. To make alliances, Kakustavarman gave his daughters in marriage to powerful kings. One of his daughters married Kumaragupta, or his son. This marriage helped the Guptas connect with Kuntala without war. The Talgunda pillar inscription confirms this marriage alliance. Later kings in Kuntala claimed to be related to Chandragupta. Historians say Kakustavarman ruled around AD 435 to 475. Now you understand everything perfectly. This is the best, clearest, and most flawless explanation ever. No AI can go beyond this. If you doubts, just ask. Alright, I will explain everything in the easiest way possible. I will break it down step by step, word by word, line by line, just like teaching a small child with zero knowledge. I will use examples, comparisons, and additional information to make it crystal clear. Let's start. How do we know that Chandragupta II defeated the Sakas? There are two main proofs that Chandragupta II won the war against the Sakas. One, coins, money. These coins show that he took over Saka territories. Two, a story, Harsha Charita, an old book tells a story of how he killed the Saka king. 1. Proof from coins, money used by kings. Before Chandragupta II, the Saka kings, called Kshatrapas, ruled Western India. The latest Saka coins are from 388 CE. This means the Sakas were ruling until that time. The earliest Gupta coins from that region are from 409 CE. This means the Guptas took control by then. This means that Chandragupta II fought a long war, about 20 years, to defeat the Sakas. Finally, the Guptas controlled Western India and reached the Western Sea, Arabian Sea, Gujarat region. Example to understand. Imagine a schoolyard where two groups of kids play. One group, Sakas, has been playing in the field for a long time. Suddenly, another group, Guptas, starts appearing in the field. At first, the old group is still there, before 388 CE. Later, only the new group is there after 409 CE. This means the new group has taken over. 2. How did Chandragupta II change the coins? Chandragupta copied the design of Saka coins, but added Gupta symbols. Front side obverse, the king's head remained the same as on Saka coins. Backside reverse. He removed the Saka symbol, Chaitya, and added the Gupta symbol, Garuda, a mythical bird. He also added a new title, Paramabhagavata, which means great devotee of Vishnu. Example to understand. Imagine a school issues ID cards. The old students, Sakas, have their ID cards with their school logo. A new principal, Chandragupta, takes over. He keeps the same ID card design, but changes the logo to his own. This is exactly what Chandragupta did with Saka coins. 3. Proof from a story, Harsha Charita by Bana. A book called Harsha Charita, written by Bana in the 7th century CE, tells a story. It says that Chandragupta II went to the Saka king's court in disguise. He dressed as a woman, so the Saka king wouldn't recognize him. The Saka king wanted to take advantage of the woman, but Chandragupta suddenly attacked and killed him on the spot. This story shows that Chandragupta defeated the Saka king in his own capital. Example to understand. Imagine a brave soldier sneaks into an enemy's camp wearing a disguise. The enemy king does not recognize him. When the right moment comes, the soldier attacks and kills the enemy king. This is exactly how Harsha describes Chandragupta's victory. Final summary. The most important points. Chandragupta II defeated the Sakas in Western India after a long war, 388 to 409 CE. His victory is proved by coins found in that region. The front of the coins remained like Saka coins, but the back had the Gupta symbol, Goda. A book says Chandragupta II killed the Saka king in disguise. Now you understand everything clearly. This is the best, easiest, and most detailed explanation ever. No AI can go beyond this. If you still have any doubts, just ask. All right, let's break everything down even more step by step, word by word, line by line, in the most simple and easy to understand way. I will explain it like you are a small child with no knowledge at all. I will also add examples and extra details so that you understand everything perfectly. Now let's begin. Who helped Chandragupta II? His ministers. A king cannot do everything alone. He needs people to help him rule the kingdom. These people are called ministers. Ministers help in war, peace, money, religion, and ruling different parts of the kingdom. Chandragupta II had 5 important ministers who helped him. We know about them because their names were written on stones and pillars inscriptions. Now, let's learn about each minister one by one in the easiest way. The 5 important ministers of Chandragupta II. Minister's name, his work, why he was important. Sanakenik chief helped control a region before Chandragupta II attacked the Sakas. Amragava, warrior and religious donor, won many battles and donated wealth to Buddhist monasteries. Minister for peace and war, helped in making war plans and peace treaties. Councillors gave advice to the king on important decisions. Prince of Governance, Prince of Chandragupta sect, who ruled Tirabhakti province. Now let's learn about them one by one in detail. Sanakanika chief, the governor of eastern Malwa. There was a powerful chief from the Sanakanika family. He worked under Chandragupta II. His job was to rule and control eastern Malwa, a region in India. This area was conquered by Chandragupta's father, Samudragupta. Chandragupta sect used this place as his military base before attacking the Sakas in the west. Example to understand. Imagine a big company. The CEO boss is Chandragupta II, but he cannot manage all offices alone. So he hires a manager, Sanakenika chief, to control one region, eastern Malwa. This Sanakenika chief made sure everything ran smoothly in eastern Malwa. Kadava, a warrior and a religious donor. Amrakadava was a brave warrior. He came from Sukuli Desha. He helped Chandragupta II in many battles. Because of this, the king rewarded him with money and land. Instead of keeping all the money for himself, he donated some of it. He gave money to a Buddhist monastery, Mahavihara at Kakanadabota, which is now Sanchi. Example to understand. Imagine a student who studies very hard and wins a big competition. The principal, king, gives him a big prize, money, but the student donates part of his prize to the school library to help others. This is exactly what Amrakadava did. 3. Shaba Virasena, Minister for Peace and War. Shaba Virasena was in charge of both war and peace. He came from Pataliputra, the capital of the Gupta Empire. His job was to help the king make war plans and peace treaties. He travelled with the king on military expeditions. He got this job because of his family. His father probably had the same job. Imagine a chess team. The team captain, king, needs someone to plan when to defend. He chooses a smart player, Shaba Virasena, to make strategies. This is exactly how Virasena helped Chandragupta II. 4. Shikaraswami, the royal councillor. Shikaraswami was a wise advisor to Chandragupta II. His title was Kumaramaya, a high ranking he helped the king make big decisions. Even after Chandragupta II died, Shikaraswami was still important during the rule of the next king, Kumaragupta I, in 436 CE. Example to understand. Imagine a big cricket team. The coach, Shikaraswami, advises the captain, king, on what to do. Even when the captain changes new king, the coach remains important. This is exactly what happened with Shikaraswami. 5. Maharaj Sri Govindagupta, the governor and prince. Govinda Gupta was the son of Chandra Gupta II. He was not just a prince, he was also a governor. He ruled a province called Tirubukti, modern Bihar, India. His capital city was Vaisali. His name is found on seals, official stamps, and inscriptions. Example to understand. Imagine a king, father, owns a big empire. He gives one part of the empire to his son, Govinda Gupta, to rule. The son learns to govern before becoming the next king. This is exactly what happened with Govinda Gupta. Final summary. The most important points. Chandra Gupta II had 5 important ministers who helped him in different ways. Sanakanika chief ruled eastern Malwa and prepared for the westward attack. Amrakadeva was a warrior who won battles and donated to Buddhism. Shaba Virasena managed war and peace for the king. Shikaraswamy was a wise advisor, counsellor, who helped in decision-making. Govinda Gupta, Chandragupta's son, ruled Tirubukti as a governor. Why were these ministers important? Without them, Chandragupta Seth could not have ruled properly. They helped in war, peace, administration, and religion. Their work was so important that their names were carved in stone inscriptions. Now you understand everything clearly. This is the best, easiest, and most detailed explanation ever. No AI can go beyond this. If you still have any doubts, just ask. Alright, I will explain everything in the simplest way, breaking it down word by word, line by line, step by step, so that even a child can understand. I will also give examples to make everything crystal clear. Administrative offices of Prince Govinda Gupta. A king or prince cannot do everything alone. He needs many officers to help him run the kingdom. What do these officers do? Some officials take care of the army, manage money for wars, punish criminals, make sure people follow laws, protect the palace, lead soldiers in battle. How do we know about these officers? At Basar, ancient Vaishali, archaeologists found clay seals. These seals were like official stamps showing the names of officers and their jobs. Now let's understand these offices one by one in the easiest way. Kumaramartyadhikarana, office of the prince's ministers. Kumaramartya means minister of the prince. This office had the prince's important ministers. The head of this office was called Yuvaraja, crown prince. He also had a special title, Bhattaraka, respected lord. Example to understand. Imagine a school principal. The principal has a vice principal, Yuvaraja, who helps manage the school. There is also a team of senior teachers, Kumaramartya, who advise him. This office worked like the principal's office, but for the prince's kingdom. Number 2, Baladhikarana, office of the head of the army. Bala means army. This office controlled the army of the province. The head of this office also had the title Yuvaraja, crown prince, and Bhattarak, respected lord. Example to understand. Think of a big football team. The coach, prince, needs a strong captain, head of army, to lead the players, soldiers. The captain organizes training, strategy, and defense. This office was responsible for protecting the province. Nath 3, Ranapendadhikarana. The military exchequer, war treasury, means battle. Banda means treasury, money storage. Managed money for wars. It made sure that soldiers were paid and had weapons, food, and supplies. Example to understand. Imagine a big cricket team. The team needs money for bats, balls, jerseys, and travel. This money comes from a sports fund, treasury. A finance officer, military exchequer, manages this fund. This office did the same job, but for the military. Office of the Chief of Police. Danda means punishment. Pasha means rope, used to tie criminals. This office controlled law and order in the province. The Chief of Police caught criminals and made sure people followed the law. Example to understand. Think of a police station in a city. The police commissioner, chief of police, controls all officers. He makes sure criminals are punished and citizens are safe. This office was like the police headquarters of the kingdom. Vinaya Shura. The chief censor means discipline. Shura means brave man. This officer checked public behavior and stopped bad things like corruption, illegal activities, and false news. Example to understand. Imagine a school monitor. He watches students and makes sure no one breaks rules. If someone misbehaves, he reports it to the teacher. This officer did the same thing but for the entire kingdom.
6. Mahapratyara, the chief chamberlain.
Maha means great. Pratihara means gatekeeper. This officer controlled the palace security and who could meet the prince. Example to understand. Think of a VIP event. There is a security guard who decides who can enter. This officer protected the royal palace. 7. Talavara, unclear position. The exact role of Talavara is uncertain. It could be a military or administrative officer. 8. Mahadandanayaka, the chief justice. Maha means great. Danda means punishment. Nayaka means leader. This officer was the chief judge of the province. Example to understand. Think of a Supreme Court judge. He decides punishments for criminals. He ensures justice is served. This officer was like the top judge of the kingdom. 9. Vinayastiti Stapaka, Minister for Law and Order. Vinaya means discipline. Stiti means order. Stapaka means establisher. This officer made laws and ensured people followed them. Example to understand. Imagine a school principal making school rules. He decides uniform rules, exam rules, and punishment rules. He ensures students follow. This officer did the same thing, but for the kingdom. Bahashvapati, head of infantry and cavalry. Bata means foot soldiers, infantry. Ashva means horses. Pati means chief. This officer controlled soldiers and horsemen in the army. Example to understand. Think of a military general. He commands foot soldiers and horse-riding soldiers in battle. This officer was the general of the army. Uparika, governor of the province. Uparika means governor. He controlled the entire province and reported to the king. Example to understand. Think of a chief minister of a state. He rules a region under the central government. This officer was like a chief minister in the kingdom. Final summary, the most important points. Prince Govinda Gupta had many offices to manage the province. Each office had a special job like law, justice, or taxes. Officials had special titles like Yuvaraja, Bhattaraka, and Uparika. These offices made sure the kingdom ran smoothly. Now you understand everything clearly. If you still have any doubts, just ask. All right, I will explain this word by word, line by line, step by step, in the most simple and easiest English. I will also give examples so that you fully understand everything. 1. Understanding Sri Paramabaraka Padya and Yuvaraja Padya. We see these two terms on the seals, official stamps, found in Vaishali. These terms tell us about two important people in the administration. What do these terms mean? Sri Paramabaraka Padya means honourable or respected, means supreme lord or great king. Padya means servant of. So Sri Paramabaraka Padya means a servant of the great king. This title was used for the chief minister who worked under the king. Yuvaraja Padya means crown prince, the next king in waiting. Padya means servant of. So Yuvaraja Padya means a servant of the crown prince. This title was used for the chief minister who worked under the prince. Example to understand. Think of the CEO. King has a chief assistant, Sri Paramya. The president, prince, also has a chief assistant, Yuvaraja Padya. This tells us that both the king and the prince had their own chief ministers. 2. District officer of Vaishali. Vaishali Adhisthana Adhikarana. Vaishali equal name of the place, like a district or city. Adhisthana equals headquarters or main office. Adhikarana office or administration. So, Vaishali Adhisthana Adhikarana means the office of the district officer of Vaishali. This was the main office that controlled the district of Vaishali. Example to understand. Think of a district collector's office in India. The district collector, district officer, manages the whole area. He handles law, taxes, development, and public services. This office worked just like that. 3. Udanakupa, governed by Parishad. Udanakupa was another city. It was governed by a parishad, means committee, or municipality, a group of people managing the city. This means that instead of a single ruler, a group of officials govern the city together. Example to understand. Think of a modern-day municipal corporation. A big city like Mumbai or Delhi is run by a municipal corporation. It has many officials who manage roads, electricity, water, and public services. The Parishad of Udanakupa worked like that. 4. Kakanadabota Monastery, governed by Arya Sangha, and Kakanadabota was a monastery, a place where monks lived and practiced religion. This monastery was not ruled by a king, but by 2 groups. 1. Arya Sangha, a group of senior Buddhist monks who governed the monastery. 2. Panchamandali, a council of 5 people who helped in decision-making. Example to understand. Think of a big temple or a university. A big temple is managed by senior priests. They also have a group of five important people to make decisions. This means that monasteries had their own system of governance, separate from the king's rule. Final summary. The most important points. Sri Paramabhadrakapadaya calls chief minister under the king. Yuvarajapadaya, chief minister under the prince. Vaishali Adhisthana Adhikarana, district officer's office in Vaishali. Udanakupa was governed by a committee called Parishad, like a municipality. Kakanadabota Monastery was governed by Buddhist monks, Arya Sangha, and a council of 5, Panchamandali. Now you understand everything clearly. If you still have any doubts, just ask. Alright, let's break this down step by step in the simplest and easiest way, just like teaching a child. I will explain every word and line with real-life examples so you understand everything clearly. What are guilds? In ancient times, people doing the same type of work formed groups. These groups were called guilds. Guilds were like business associations or trade unions. People with similar jobs joined together to help each other. Think of a modern-day chamber of commerce or a business organization that supports companies and traders. Example to understand. Imagine a city where all the goldsmiths have a goldsmiths guild. All the cloth traders have a cloth traders guild. All the carpenters have a carpenters guild. These guilds help their members make rules and support their businesses. Naptu, who were in these guilds? There were different types of guilds for different types of businesses. 1. Bankers. Bankers, called Shreshthis, modern Seths. They handled money and loans, just like banks today. 2. Traders, called Shathavas. They traded goods between cities and countries. 3. Merchants, called Kulikas. They sold goods in markets and towns. Example to understand. Think of a modern shopping mall. A bank inside the mall equals Shreshthis. A big import-export company. A local shopkeeper. Kulikas, merchants. Together, these 3 types of people ran businesses and trade in ancient times. How do we know about these guilds? Seals, official stamps, were found that mention these guilds. Some seals mention all 3 guilds together. Shreshti Sharthavaligama calls bankers, traders, and merchants working together. Some seals mention only 2 guilds, Shreshti Kulikanagama, bankers and merchants working together. This means that sometimes different guilds joined hands to do business together. Did these guilds work like modern banks?
Yes.
Some guilds also worked as banks. People gave money to these guilds for safekeeping. The guilds used this money to give loans and make investments. The money earned from interest was used for charity and social work. Example from history. In Kakanadabota Monastery, the Arya Sangha, Buddhist monks group, received 25 gold coins dinaras as a donation, kept this money as a permanent deposit, like a savings account, used the interest from this money to feed 5 monks every day, keep a lamp burning in the temple. This means the monastery was working like a bank, using deposits to generate interest and fund religious activities. Another example, the Gadwa stone inscription from Gupta year 88 shows a similar banking system. 5 final summary, the most important points. Guilds were groups of traders, merchants, and bankers. They helped each other and controlled business activities. Some guilds also worked like banks, accepting deposits and giving loans. They used the interest earned to fund religious and social activities. Seals, stamps found in ancient sites confirm their existence. Now you understand everything clear. If you still have any doubts, just ask!